Have you ever woken up feeling exhausted, as if the very essence of your being has been drained overnight? An unshakable fog creeps in, and despite resting, you're still left yearning for energy that seems to have vanished into thin air. This is a common experience for many of us, a silent struggle that is often overlooked in our fast-paced world. We live in a time where the demands of life often snatch our vitality away, leaving us feeling emotionally exhausted. But have you ever stopped to wonder what might be stealing your energy? The concept of unseen forces affecting our emotional state is not just an abstract idea, it's a reality for many. In her groundbreaking work, Dr. Elisabeth Kübler-Ross illuminated the complexities of human emotion, helping us understand that the landscapes of our feelings are often intricate, chaotic, and messy. She taught us that our responses to pain, whether it be denial, anger, bargaining, depression, or acceptance, are essential to our journey of healing. But what if these very emotions have a hand in draining your energy? What if, by not addressing them, you are unknowingly giving away your power? When we think about energy, it's easy to visualize it as a tangible thing, like power running through our veins. Imagine it as a battery, slowly losing juice without any sign of recharging. What drains this battery in your life? Are there relationships that zap your enthusiasm? Situations that leave you feeling heavy instead of light? Reflect on this for a moment. The answers may not be as obvious as they seem. Often, we enter a state of denial, unwilling to face the truth about how certain interactions affect us. We downplay our feelings, convincing ourselves that the exhaustion is temporary, a passing phase. Yet, denial is often a coping mechanism, a barrier to facing reality. Do you recognize moments when you've pushed aside your true feelings to avoid conflict? Moments when you pretended to be okay, even when you weren't? Denial might offer a temporary refuge, but it comes with a cost, often manifesting as pent-up anger and resentment. Anger, though often viewed as a negative emotion, can be a powerful force if acknowledged properly. It serves as a signal, alerting us to areas in our lives that require attention. If left unexamined, this anger festers, further draining our energy and clouding our judgment. It raises an important question: what are you holding on to that needs to be released? By confronting these feelings, both of denial and anger, we allow ourselves to reclaim our energy. In this exploration of emotional boundaries, be mindful of the people in your life. Are there individuals who continually deplete your energy, leaving you feeling drained and diminished? Relationships can often become sources of energy drain without us even realizing it. It's time to ask yourself if you are navigating through life on someone else's terms, sacrificing your energy to please those around you. Becoming aware of these dynamics is the first step on the path to understanding your vitality. Let's not forget the role of societal pressures and expectations. In the race for productivity, striving to meet others' standards can wear us down. We may find ourselves saying yes to everything, pushing our own needs to the background. What if saying no liberated your energy? Reflect on how much of your life is lived for others instead of yourself. As this emotional landscape unfolds, you are invited to consider: how do you feel about your energy today? Are you prepared to acknowledge the factors that might be siphoning it away? Recognizing these elements is not just about attuning to the negative, it's about making a conscious choice to cultivate vitality in your life. If you're curious about uncovering the hidden truths of emotional energy, subscribe now and activate notifications for more insights. Together, we'll embark on a journey of exploration, moving from emotional exhaustion to a deeper understanding of vitality. Are you ready to reclaim your energy? It all starts with awareness and the courage to face your truth. As we delve deeper into the emotional landscape of energy depletion, it's essential to examine the initial reactions we often experience when confronted with feelings of exhaustion, denial, and anger. In essence, these responses can create a tangled web that complicates our understanding of our energy levels and personal vitality. But how can we begin to unravel this complexity? Let's start with denial. Denial is like a comfortable blanket. It can feel warm and safe to ignore the signs that our energy is dwindling. However, this denial does not change the reality of our emotional exhaustion. It can whisper comforting lies. Maybe it's just a phase, or I'll feel better after this deadline. We put off recognizing the exhaustion, convincing ourselves it's simply a part of life. But think for a moment. How often do you dismiss feelings of tiredness or irritability, chalking them up to just having a bad day? When you consistently downplay these feelings, you deny your need for rest and self-care. You ignore your body's whispers for help, allowing them to escalate into louder cries for attention. Do you recall moments when you've chosen to keep going despite feeling drained? Perhaps you stayed late at work, participated in social outings you weren't excited about, or neglected your own needs, telling yourself that you could manage. This corners you into a cycle of exhaustion and frustration, where the very acts of denial and avoidance drain your energy even further. Now, let's introduce anger into the mix. While it's natural to feel anger in response to feeling depleted, many of us are uncomfortable acknowledging it. Society often trains us to suppress anger, leading to feelings of guilt or shame when we do express it. However, this misplaced judgment only serves to compound the issue. Have you ever felt resentful towards someone for their demands on your time and energy? Yet, instead of addressing that anger, you push it down, resulting in more depletion. Imagine anger as a wildfire. If left unchecked, it spreads and consumes everything in its path. However, when confronted directly, it can serve as a catalyst for change. It can illuminate the areas in your life that require attention, drawing boundaries where once there were none. As you observe your own emotional responses, consider this. What instances of anger have you allowed to simmer beneath the surface? Perhaps it's time to face those feelings head on and understand what they are trying to teach you about your needs. In this context, your relationships play a pivotal role in energy dynamics. Are there specific individuals whose presence leaves you feeling drained? Sometimes we unknowingly engage in patterns where we prioritize others' needs over our own, leading to a depletion of our energy reserves. It's crucial to ask yourself, are there relationships where you feel more like a caretaker than a partner? Are these relationships worth the emotional toll they take? Take a moment to reflect on your daily interactions. Do you often find yourself accommodating others at the expense of your own emotional health? Realizing that you have the power to change this dynamic is liberating. What if, instead of fearing confrontation, you approached it with curiosity? What if voicing your needs could transform your relationships for the better? As we continue this emotional journey, it's important to consider how societal pressures shape our reactions. In a world that often glorifies busyness, the expectation to constantly perform can drown out our personal needs. We may feel guilty for taking time for ourselves, convinced that our worth is tied to our productivity. But this mindset is taxing. What if taking a break, even a short one, could replenish your energy? In this climate of relentless striving, take time to listen to your inner voice. Are there moments where you can shift from denial to acknowledgement? It might feel uncomfortable, but acknowledging these feelings opens the door to clarity. Confronting denial and anger serves as a crucial bridge to reclaiming your energy. As you navigate these emotions, ask yourself, what small changes could you implement today to honor your energy? Be it setting boundaries, saying no to draining commitments, or even allowing yourself to feel anger without judgment, each step is a move toward empowerment. Have you ever felt like you were in denial about your energy levels or angry about those draining interactions? Leave a comment below. Share your own experiences of denial and anger, as every shared story allows us to learn and grow together on this journey toward understanding and reclaiming our vitality. Let's continue to explore this emotional landscape further, especially as we delve into the negotiations we have with ourselves and others regarding the energy we willingly exchange. As we navigate the intricate web of emotional energy, we arrive at a pivotal point, the negotiations we engage in with ourselves and others regarding our vitality. When we feel drained, it can prompt a series of negotiations, both conscious and subconscious, over what we are willing to sacrifice to maintain our relationships or fulfill societal expectations. But what are we really trading away in these exchanges? Imagine your energy as a valuable currency. Every time you invest in a person or situation, you spend a portion of that energy. It might feel necessary. After all, we live in a world that often prioritizes giving over receiving. But let's take a moment to question, is this investment mutual? Are the returns on your emotional currency worth the sacrifices you're making? Think about a time you felt compelled to please someone, even when it came at a personal cost. Maybe it was agreeing to take on additional work, even when you were already feeling overwhelmed. Or perhaps you attended a social event when all you wanted was to rest. In these negotiations, there's often a voice in our head saying, "This is what you should do," or "You have to keep the peace." Yet, in doing so, we risk losing pieces of ourselves in the process. This brings forth the concept of emotional bargaining, a coping strategy we often employ when navigating our relationships. When we feel depleted, we might find ourselves making questionable deals to regain a sense of control. We tell ourselves that if we just endure a little longer or do something extra for someone else, we will eventually earn the right to feel good again. Have you ever felt obliged to sacrifice your own well-being for the sake of pleasing someone else? While it's natural to want to make others happy, it's also crucial to assess the cost to your own well-being. This isn't about being selfish. It's about maintaining a healthy balance. Reflect on this. What are you willing to sacrifice in these emotional negotiations? Is it your time, your peace of mind, or perhaps your health? Acknowledging what you give away can help you understand the unsustainable patterns you've created. As we explore this theme further, consider the feelings of depression that can arise when we repeatedly find ourselves in these energy-draining negotiations. The inner turmoil of feeling trapped between obligation and desire can lead to a sense of helplessness. This emotional state often stems from a growing realization that you have been sacrificing too much of yourself. The question becomes, how do we escape this cycle of depletion? Start by acknowledging that you have agency in these negotiations. You possess the power to redefine the terms. Let's say you're in a situation where a friend constantly asks for emotional support, leaving you feeling drained. Instead of taking on that burden, consider reframing your role. What if you explained your feelings honestly? You might say, "I care about you, but I need a little space right now. Can we find a different way to communicate?" This change in approach not only protects your energy, but may also lead to a healthier relationship dynamic. To illustrate the importance of reclaiming your energy, let's consider a practical scenario. Imagine you're part of a project at work that's becoming overwhelming. You feel pressured to meet deadlines and maintain a standard that's exhausting. Instead of silently pushing through, take a moment to evaluate. What is your goal with this project? What do you genuinely want? By identifying your true intentions, you can negotiate with your team for a more manageable workload or an extension, allowing you to work more efficiently without sacrificing your well-being. It's essential to recognize that these negotiations with others often mirror the discussions we have with ourselves. Ask yourself, what beliefs do you hold about your worth and the need to please? Are these beliefs serving you well, or are they leading you into a cycle of depletion? This reflective process can unlock insight into how you negotiate your energy and highlight the need for boundaries. Remember, it's completely valid to prioritize your needs. In fact, doing so isn't just beneficial for you, it creates a ripple effect that enhances the dynamics of your relationships. Surrounding yourself with people who respect your boundaries fosters an environment where everyone feels empowered and valued. What's your secret negotiation strategy in these situations? Share your thoughts in the comments. Embracing these reflections will not only help you understand your own needs better, but also empower others to recognize the importance of putting themselves first. As we continue to explore the chaotic nature of energy exchanges, let's remember that awareness of our emotional needs serves as the foundation for healing. Together, we can create healthier relationships that nurture rather than deplete our souls. As we navigate the emotional complexities that drain our energy, we must confront a significant aspect, the shadow of depression that often resides beneath our exhaustion. When we ignore our emotional needs or continue to make sacrifices, we risk plunging into a state of despair. But could this darkness also serve as a catalyst for transformation? Renowned psychiatrist Dr. Elisabeth Kübler-Ross emphasized that emotions like depression are indicators, urging us to confront what is going wrong in our lives. Imagine depression as a heavy fog obscuring your path and weighing down every step. While it may feel overwhelming, what if we approached it with curiosity rather than fear? What truths might emerge from allowing ourselves to experience that darkness? Instead of viewing depression purely as a burden, consider it a guide, a call to reflect on the aspects of life that no longer serve us. Have you ever felt that despair creeping in when life seems to be a series of obligations rather than joys? This emotional state is not an enemy, but an opportunity for deeper introspection. Reflect for a moment. What past experiences have contributed to your current feelings of heaviness? Recognizing those connections can illuminate the needs that have been overlooked. Depression can manifest as a sense of helplessness and a lack of motivation, making daily tasks feel insurmountable. In these moments, it's vital to ask, what truly brings you joy? When did you last feel inspired or alive? By identifying those experiences, you can slowly foster habits that reignite that passion. What if you dedicated even a small amount of time each week to pursue a hobby, no matter how minor? Small acts of self-care can pave the path to recovery. Connection plays a critical role in battling the fog of depression. During times of isolation, reaching out can feel like a daunting task, yet sharing our struggles creates bonds of understanding. If a friend reached out to express their suffering, wouldn't you be willing to listen? Why is it challenging to extend that same compassion to yourself? Vulnerability could be the key to finding support and connection through your experiences. Consider whom you trust. Opening up about your feelings of sadness or exhaustion may lead to deeper relationships and mutual understanding. Think of how empowerment grows when we share our stories. Can you courageously initiate these conversations with those around you? Cultivating self-compassion and acknowledging your emotional state are vital steps in navigating depression. Ask yourself, how can I show kindness to myself during these moments? Recognize that feeling down is a shared experience within the human condition. Setting aside time each day to reflect on your emotions or journaling can help articulate feelings that may feel jumbled in your mind. I invite you to take a moment and think about this. If you're struggling, remember that others may feel the same way. What support can you provide yourself today? Would sharing your experience in the comments help others feel less isolated in their feelings? Every story shared creates a sense of community and understanding, reminding us that we are not alone on this journey. As we explore this emotional terrain, remember that navigating through depression isn't about rushing toward a solution. Instead, it's about understanding and embracing your journey. By acknowledging where you are, you find the strength to take the next steps toward healing. Next, we will discuss the transformative power of acceptance in our emotional struggles. How can we learn to embrace our feelings and find peace amidst the chaos? Let's continue this journey together, recognizing that every emotion has a purpose and each experience can lead to profound personal revelations. As we delve deeper into the transformative power of acceptance within our emotional struggles, it is crucial to embrace a fundamental truth. Acceptance does not mean approval. Instead, it invites us to acknowledge our feelings without judgment, allowing us to breathe amidst the chaos. This is where true healing begins. What if, instead of resisting our emotions, we chose to sit with them, to welcome them as integral parts of our human experience? Acceptance is often misunderstood. Many believe it means giving up or resigning ourselves to a painful status quo. However, in the framework of Dr. Elisabeth Kübler-Ross's stages of grief, acceptance can be the key to liberation. It's about recognizing what is rather than what we wish it to be. This shift can lead to profound clarity and insight. Have you ever experienced a moment where accepting a difficult truth set you free? Consider emotional pain as a heavy backpack you carry. If you resist acknowledging its weight, if you insist on ignoring the discomfort, it grows heavier. The burden may become exhausting, leaving you stranded in a cycle of suffering. However, what happens when you finally put the backpack down? What if you allowed yourself to feel the anxiety, sadness, or anger instead of pushing them away? Accepting these emotions can lead to a lighter load and greater clarity about your needs and desires. When we practice acceptance, we allow space for exploration and understanding. Instead of battling our feelings, we invite ourselves to ask, what is this feeling trying to tell me? By leaning into our emotions, we often discover hidden truths about ourselves. For instance, if you're feeling overwhelmed, perhaps it indicates a need for boundaries or self-care. Recognition is key to reclaiming your emotional energy. So how can you begin this journey of acceptance? A practical approach is to create a personal ritual for acknowledging your feelings. This could be a few moments spent in quiet reflection, a dedicated time for journaling, or even speaking aloud to yourself. You might say, I feel anxious. It's okay to feel this way. By verbalizing your emotions, you validate them and lay the groundwork for acceptance. Think about this. What would it look like to fully embrace your emotional landscape? What fears or hesitations stand in your way? Confronting these barriers is often the first step in breaking the cycle of denial and embracing acceptance. Allowing yourself to feel and acknowledge disappointment, sadness, or grief can be intimidating, yet it paves the way toward healing. It is equally important to remember that acceptance is a continuous practice, not a destination. You may find that your feelings ebb and flow over time, and that's perfectly normal. This isn't about becoming emotionless. Instead, it's about fostering a compassionate relationship with yourself during turbulent times. How might you encourage this practice in your everyday life? Creating a supportive environment can make acceptance easier. Surrounding yourself with empathetic individuals who encourage vulnerability allows for richer conversations about emotional experiences. Ask yourself, who in my life makes me feel safe to express my feelings? You might discover that simply sharing your journey with someone can illuminate your path toward acceptance. Lastly, consider extending compassion to others. Offering a listening ear to someone struggling can help both of you in your emotional endeavors. In doing so, we create a culture of acceptance and understanding, one that values emotional honesty. What stories can you share with others that might inspire connection and empathy? As we reflect on the transformative power of acceptance, let's not forget, every emotion is significant and carries weight. By acknowledging all aspects of our emotional lives, including the painful and uncomfortable, we unlock pathways to deeper self-awareness and healing. In our next segment, we'll explore how acceptance lays the foundation for resilience. Why do some individuals flourish amidst adversity while others struggle? What lessons can we learn about nurturing resilience in ourselves and others? Join me as we continue this journey toward understanding the profound impact of acceptance, revealing how it fosters strength through even the most challenging experiences. As we dive into the relationship between acceptance and resilience, it becomes clear that they go hand in hand in our emotional journeys. Resilience is not just about bouncing back, it's about how we navigate the storms that life throws our way. Dr. Elisabeth Kübler-Ross's work reminds us that while we can't control every situation, we can control how we respond to our emotions. But have you ever stopped to wonder, what sets resilient individuals apart from those who struggle to adapt? Resilience is like a muscle. The more we exercise it, the stronger it becomes. When we accept our circumstances, as painful as they may be, we create a stable foundation for resilience to flourish. Instead of denying or resisting adversity, acceptance empowers us to confront challenges head-on. Can you recall a time when you faced a setback only to find clarity and strength through your acceptance of the situation? Think of this analogy. Imagine a tree in a storm. A tree that rigidly stands tall against the howling winds may eventually snap or uproot. In contrast, a tree that bends with the wind maintains its strength when the storm passes. Similarly, resilient individuals learn to adapt and adjust, navigating the turbulence of life while grounded in their sense of self. Think of your own life. What storms have tested your resilience? How did you respond? Perhaps you lost a job, experienced a breakup, or faced personal health challenges. In those moments, did you try to control everything, or did you embrace acceptance as a way to process and move forward? Reflecting on these experiences can reveal valuable insights into your personal resilience. Acceptance allows us to view setbacks as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. It encourages us to ask crucial questions. What can I learn from this experience? How can this challenge help me grow? By reframing our situations, we develop a mindset that fosters resilience and opens the door to recovery. However, resilience is not solely an individual trait. It's deeply rooted in our relationships. Surrounding ourselves with supportive people creates a safety net when we face adversity. Think back to a time someone stood by you, providing comfort or guidance during challenging moments. How did their support shape your ability to cope? By sharing our stories and struggles with trusted friends or family members, we foster a sense of community and connection that bolsters our resilience. Let's pivot to an essential question. How do we cultivate an environment that nurtures resilience for ourselves and those around us? One way is to encourage open dialogues about emotions and challenges. Do you feel comfortable discussing your struggles with others? If not, what barriers prevent you from doing so? Constructing a culture that normalizes vulnerability can create an atmosphere where resilience thrives. Another important aspect of resilience is self-care. Have you ever taken a moment to check in on your own well-being? Engaging in self-care practices, whether through mindfulness, exercise, or creative outlets, plays a pivotal role in building emotional resilience. Recognize that caring for yourself is not selfish. It's essential for nurturing your capacity to face life's challenges. Consider this analogy. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you neglect your own needs, how can you care for others or navigate adversity effectively? Reflect on the ways you nurture your emotional health. What small daily actions can you take to refill your cup? Simple practices such as journaling, spending time in nature, or meditating can serve as powerful reminders that self-care is vital for resilience. As we discuss resilience, let's not forget the importance of patience with ourselves. Building resilience is not a quick fix. It's a continuous process that requires practice and commitment. When faced with difficulties, remind yourself that it's okay to feel a range of emotions. By giving yourself grace during these times, you can ultimately foster deeper resilience. In this chapter of our emotional journey, we recognize that acceptance is a vital anchor for resilience. By embracing our hardships, nurturing supportive connections, and prioritizing self-care, we cultivate the inner strength to weather life's storms. But how can we continue this journey toward resilience in our daily lives? Join me next as we explore actionable strategies for fostering emotional resilience. What practical steps can you take to ensure you not only survive adversity, but thrive because of it? Together, let's delve into the world of resilience, unlocking its potential to transform our lives for the better. As we embark on our final exploration of emotional resilience, it's essential to highlight actionable strategies that can empower you to thrive, not just survive, amidst life's challenges. Understanding resilience and how to cultivate it provides a roadmap for navigating through difficult times. So, what can you do to enhance your emotional resilience in practical, everyday ways? First and foremost, cultivate a growth mindset. This concept, famously popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, suggests that viewing challenges as opportunities for growth can fundamentally shift the way you approach adversity. When you encounter a setback, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? This simple reframing can lead to innovative solutions and a new perspective on your struggles. Have you experienced a situation that, in hindsight, helped you grow? Now let's incorporate self-reflection into your routine. By dedicating time to reflect on your daily experiences and emotional responses, you better understand your reactions and triggers. Consider keeping a journal where you can freely express your thoughts and feelings. This practice not only helps you track your emotional journey, but allows you to identify patterns that may hinder your resilience. How often do you take a moment at the end of the day to reflect on what you learned? Building a support network is another crucial strategy. Remember those connections we discussed earlier? A vibrant support system can significantly bolster your resilience. Think of who in your life you can count on during tough times. Friends, family, mentors. Reaching out for support when you need it is a sign of strength, not weakness. It opens the door to collaboration, encouragement, and shared wisdom. Have you ever leaned on someone during a difficult period? Reflect on how that support made you feel stronger and more capable of facing your challenges. Let's also talk about mindfulness. Integrating mindfulness practices into your daily life can enhance your resilience by helping you remain present and grounded even in moments of uncertainty. Mindfulness invites you to experience your emotions without judgment, reducing anxiety and fostering a sense of clarity. You might try mindfulness techniques such as breathing exercises or guided meditations. Have you set aside time in your day to practice mindfulness? Another effective strategy is to set small, achievable goals. Breaking larger tasks into manageable steps creates a sense of accomplishment and progress even in challenging circumstances. Instead of focusing on the overwhelming picture, concentrate on the next small step you can take toward your goal. Ask yourself, what is one action I can take today that will move me closer to where I want to be? This practice can foster confidence and resilience as each small achievement builds momentum. Moreover, embracing flexibility is vital. Life rarely goes as planned, and being willing to adapt your expectations can enhance your emotional strength. When faced with unforeseen circumstances, ask yourself, how can I adjust my approach to cope with this change? This adaptability allows you to respond effectively rather than react impulsively. Consider moments when you had to change course. How did those experiences ultimately lead to new opportunities or insights? Let's not forget the importance of self-compassion in resilience building. Treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend during a tough time. Acknowledge your struggles without harsh self-criticism. Instead of saying, "I shouldn't feel this way," try saying, "It's okay to feel this way." How might you incorporate self-compassion into your internal dialogue? Lastly, seek joy amidst your struggles. It's essential to find moments that uplift and inspire you, even when life feels heavy. Whether it's engaging in hobbies, spending time with loved ones, or immersing yourself in nature, these joyful experiences can refill your emotional reservoir. Reflect for a moment. What activities make you feel most alive? How can you prioritize these moments in your life? As we conclude this emotional journey, remember that resilience is not about perfection. It's about process. It's the ongoing commitment to invest in your emotional well-being, embrace the ebb and flow of life, and recognize that you possess the strength to endure and thrive. What steps will you take today to foster your resilience? By integrating these actionable strategies into your daily life, you create a more robust support system for yourself. As we part ways, consider sharing your thoughts and experiences with us. What tools have you found effective in nurturing your resilience? Together, we can continue to build a community that understands the importance of emotional health and supports each other in our journeys. Thank you for being part of this exploration. Let's carry these lessons forward, knowing we are stronger together.